for a wide target audience, doing a bunch of videos here and there. And then suddenly I had a video that picked up better than others. It doesn't have to be viral. It just has to be a video that's getting more views than average. Now, I didn't really catch on to the trend, and so what I did was I continued to post my random videos like I always did, and as you'll notice, the views were average. This is a recent screenshot, so back then it was even less views. Then I asked myself, okay, what if I just double down on this one topic and see what happens? Okay, let's just see what happens. Boom, the moment I doubled down, my views accelerated, and this got me to my first 100K subscribers in less than a year, because I doubled down on what was working. Now, I want you to imagine this scenario. Imagine getting the best sushi sample as you're walking down the street, and you're like, damn, this is good. And so then you go into the restaurant expecting more sushi, but you see fries, burgers, steak, burritos, and you're disappointed. So what do? You leave the restaurant. This is how someone might feel after they've watched an amazing video of yours and they go to your channel and they don't see similar content of that nature. That's why you're not getting the subscribers. That's not why you're not getting more views. It doesn't matter if you have a viral video. What matters is what you do with it. It doesn't matter if you have a video that's picking up. It matters what you do with it. And so keep that in mind. Now, tactic number 2. You want to know your analytics at this point and understand how you can optimize your videos better. And so the few metrics that matter the most is really this funnel. And if you go into your Creator Studio, YouTube will literally show this funnel to you. You want to ask yourself, what are your impressions like? How many people saw your video on their feed? They didn't click on it yet. They just saw it in passing. That tells you whether or not search is doing really well for you, or if the algorithm's just in your favor. It'll tell you a lot of things when you dig deep into this data. Then of those people who saw your video in passing, how many of them actually clicked on the video? That is your click-through rate. Average about 3 to 5%. If you can get past 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, 10%, you really want to double down on that style of thumbnail because it's clearly working for you. Then of people who click the video, people can click the video and they can click out. How many people actually viewed your video? That's where the views come from. Then of those people who viewed the video, how long did they watch the video for? That's your view duration. So let's say your video is 10 minutes long and your average view duration is 5 minutes. That means on average, people are only watching half of your video. That's what view duration is. And then, how many people are binge watching your content? How many total minutes have you accumulated in your channel? That tells you whether or not are people staying on. And by knowing these analytics, you're able to reverse engineer your goals. So for instance, if you are someone who wants to have more views, your gear, the equipment you use, doesn't matter. What matters is your topic, your title, and your thumbnail. When we talked about topics, I talked about doing search-friendly topics, check. Title, I shared some hacks on how to make your title stand out, check. For thumbnail, you're going to want to see the click-through rate and see how you're doing and really test your thumbnails to see what's actually driving the clicks. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you could pay for something like TubeBuddy, get their license. Well, they'll actually tell you which thumbnails you should improve on. TubeBuddy will tell you, okay, well, this video is getting a lot of views, but the click-through rate is lower than average, so you have an opportunity to improve something here. And then what you can do further is you can A/B test thumbnails if you want to get into a more advanced territory. Now, I didn't do this when I started, so don't worry about it if this is not something that you're ready for yet. But this is available to creators if you want to dig deep on the data and optimize. Now, if you are someone who wants to have more watch time, more view duration, this is what you have to focus on, a strong hook. How are you hooking people to actually watch the rest of your video? If your intro is over 1 minute long, to me, I feel like that's too long already. People have the attention span of a goldfish on YouTube, okay? They're gonna click out. Secondly, are you being concise? If you are rambling in your video, you're taking very long to get to the point, how annoyed do you get when you're like, oh my God, I clicked this video and they're taking forever to actually give me the good stuff? You're gonna click out. Engaging. How engaging is your video? This is when you want to focus and experiment with video editing styles, the environment, B-roll, all those different elements to make your videos engaging that will cause someone to keep watching. And if you are someone who wants more watch time, optimize your playlists. Make it very clear to people, if you like this video, you'll love these videos. And a bonus tip that I have for you that's worked really well on my channel is making your videos episodic. So very similar to watching Netflix, you want people to binge watch your content. So what I'll do sometimes in my videos is I'll say, hey, last week we talked about hashtags. This week we're going to talk about captions. And so they're going to know that, hey, a previous video existed. And then at the end of that video, I might tease my next video and say, hey, if you like this video, next week, we're going to talk about Instagram stories. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and I'll see you next week. And so that causes people to want to watch more. And this has dramatically increased my watch time by doing this.
Well, I hope you are enjoying today's session. And I wanted to let you know that if you are loving content like this, then you definitely need to go to 21videotips.com, where you can actually get 21 more video marketing tips just like this from industry experts like Patrick Bet-David, Vanessa Lau, Pat Flynn, and Alex Hermosi, and so many amazing video marketers of our day. They're sharing their best kept business building secrets inside of this masterclass and free downloadable guide. So just head over to 21videotips.com to get instant access for free and learn how you can level up your business and brand. That's 21videotips.com. Now let's get back into today's content.
Third tactic, if you're at this stage, is create a production cadence. Remember, we talked about the Achilles heel being the fact that you don't have the process and systems in place, and so then you burn out and you're not able to be consistent on your channel. So what do? Easy, time block. You can either bake or you can batch. So when I talk about batching, take 2 to 3 weeks of the quarter and film as many videos as you can so you can get it taken care of. This is really helpful, especially if you're a business owner. Or you can bake it into your schedule. This is what I like to do. It just works better for me, is I block off specific days of the week to dedicate to content. So I'll block off Thursdays and Fridays to film videos. You could also do a combination of both. If you want to bake it into your schedule, make it something that you exercise on. Filming is kind of like fitness, to be honest. You're able to block specific days and batch a few videos so that you're not going to ever run out of content. And for those weeks where you want to take a vacation, you want to take a day off, you absolutely can. What I want you guys to know, though, is you can't copy and paste someone's workflow. That's the biggest mistake you can make as a creator. Because I see so many copy and paste other people's workflows, it doesn't work for them, and then all of a sudden they think that they're a bad creator because it didn't work. When in reality, this is a very, very specific career path, and every creator has different strengths and weaknesses. And so you need to be able to create a workflow that works for you and give yourself permission to do that. It took me 1.5 years to find my workflow, okay? And so it's normal if you haven't found it just yet. What I will do today, though, is I'm going to give you examples of workflows that work for me, and you can take the best bits of it to implement it into your cadence. So here's my Airtable. This is how I map out my content, giving you guys the full behind the scenes. You don't have to use Airtable. You can use Asana, Trello, anything that is Kanban style. What I'll do is anytime I have a content idea, maybe I watched a movie, read a book, attended a conference, or I'm just sitting down brainstorming, I'll put all of my ideas in this queue. It's just ideas, nothing else. And then on a separate day, when I want to get serious about actually scripting, I'll look at this queue and I'll see which ones are really, really interesting to me, which ones actually have legs, what do I actually want to film. Then I start scripting the video, and when you actually open one of these, it's going to open this thing where I can just bullet point script my video, or if it's a video that I want to prep more for, I'll write something longer. It really depends on the video. There's no right or wrong when it comes to scripting. And by the way, I get asked this a lot. I don't use a teleprompter. Next, I then film the video. Okay, and filming to me takes like 1 hour, 2 hours, really depends on the video. And then finally, I will bring it to editing. Now, I have a video editor, but even if you're editing your own videos, this is something that would be very helpful for you to keep track of. And if you do work with a video editor, here's something that's worked really well for me, www.frame.io. It saved me so much time in video briefing, because what happens is my video editor, they'll send me the video, and then on the side, I will leave my comments, and it'll automatically timestamp them, so that when we communicate, it's clear, and it is concise, and there's a steady stream of workflow here. And so this is definitely the GOAT if you work with a video editor. Highly recommend it. Now, after that, I then put it into SEO, what I like to call optimizing the actual video. I look at the title, is it fine? I look at the description, I put in the chapters, I put in the cards, the end screens, all the things that make up actually uploading the video. I also use TubeBuddy just to figure out the keywords, something as simple as this. I get help, I don't do this on my own. I just use the plugin. I do what the plugin tells me. At 500,000 subscribers, I still do this. And then finally, I upload the video. And then I have a workflow after that too. So this is my promotion workflow. The moment a video goes up, what we'll do is within the first 24 hours, we're going to promote it in the community post so my subscribers know that I have a new video coming out. What we like to do is we like to put a GIF so that people can see kind of the climax of that video and really bait them into watching. I also promote the video on Instagram stories, so that my followers know that, hey, I dropped a new video, and then I always comment engage within the first 24 hours so that YouTube can see that there's a lot of activity happening, which may increase the chances of it being thrown out in the algorithm a lot more. Now, here's a little bonus tip for you. If you know that a lot of your audience members watch videos on mobile, we like to use something called Link Twin. It's free. It allows us to create a deep link so that when someone's clicking the link on mobile, it's going to open up directly in the YouTube app. Because here's what happens. You promote something on Instagram. Everyone can put this out now. You don't need 10K followers to have the links. But the problem is, if you just take the link from the actual YouTube video, if someone wants to engage with your content, they want to subscribe, they want to show you love, boom, they have to subscribe, they have to sign in. And so that's going to block them from doing anything to really show love to your video. So what I do is I use the Link Twin link, and that way they can go straight into the YouTube app, they can subscribe, they can comment, they can like, they can do all those things. Reducing friction matters when you promote your videos. And that's something that I like to do in my workflow. And then everything that I talk to you guys, I put it into Asana. I then schedule everything. I have it all listed out. So when I'm a solopreneur, it's easy for me to keep track of. But when I hire a team member, I can easily reassign those tasks to them. This is literally what's in our Asana board right now. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because when you decide to start a YouTube channel, you are essentially deciding to start a production company. Treat it with the same respect as you would a business, because it is one. And especially if you are a business owner, this is going to be your biggest Achilles heel if you don't figure it out. Now, we talked about the valleys of death. We talked about how to overcome that burnout period. But how do you actually reinvent yourself if you're struggling to stay relevant? Let's talk about phase 3, scaling. Your focus at this point is to sustain the growth and continue to expand your YouTube channel. Your Achilles heel, what's going to be your biggest point of weakness, is doing the same thing over and over and over again. Your subscribers are going to get bored, you're going to get stale. It is going to happen. It might not be right now, but it might be in a few years where the platforms are changing, algorithms are changing, consumer preferences are changing. You need to reinvent yourself. So how do you do it? Well, here's how I do it. Number 1, get off of YouTube. Go beyond YouTube. And Sean talked about this earlier on about short-form video. Long-form content for my business is the kingpin to our content strategy. Every single week, I spend the dedication and the time to film one YouTube video and also one long-form newsletter that connects my audience with me. Now, I'm tired. I don't want to be on all these platforms. So since I already did the work on these long-form pieces of content, what we'll do is we'll break those pieces into short form. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it. And it looks something like this, very easy. I posted a video a few years ago where I shared 5 tips on what posts convert on Instagram. I then took those 5 tips and then turned it into a carousel. And then what I did afterwards is I took those tips and I turned them into short-form videos that I can then put on other platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever else.